Signal hides your phone number from everyone you talk to. It has since 2024. But you still cannot create an account without one. That number never reaches your contacts, and Signal itself barely keeps a record of it. Yet it exists in exactly one place that matters. And this single requirement? It represents a fundamental design choice. Today we're exploring the last place that number lives and the severe costs associated with removing it entirely.
Signal, SimpleX, and the cost of removing the last identifier. We're looking at the inescapable trade-offs of network identifiers. Every secure messaging design makes a choice about identity, and those choices have profound consequences.
Section 1. What Signal already protects. The reality of metadata minimization.
To understand why the phone number remains, we first have to establish the baseline of what Signal already successfully protects when it comes to your metadata. When courts order Signal to produce what it holds on a user, they hand over exactly two dates, the account creation date and the last connection date. That's it. Not your messages, not your contacts, not your groups. The server is kept ignorant on purpose, yielding almost nothing else by design.
Contact discovery runs in a secure enclave, and group membership is completely sealed. Plus, since 2024, a username lets someone reach you without ever seeing your phone number. So for almost everyone, Signal itself is not the weak link. Your device is. But there's one layer Signal just can't reach because it sits underneath everything else.
Section 2. Why Signal still needs a number. The vulnerability of the telecom layer.
A phone number isn't actually a Signal identifier. It's a telecom identifier that Signal merely borrows. Think about it. To register, you have to prove you control the line issued by a carrier. And in most countries, that carrier checked your ID. Now, Signal never sees that file, but the carrier sure does. This leaves three remaining exposures. Step 1 is the registration anchor. At one moment in time, an account was tied to a line, and that line is tied to a person in a carrier's records. Signal's database holds almost nothing, but the link lives one layer down. Step 2 is account takeover. If someone moves your number via SIM swap or fraudulent eSIM transfer, they can actually attempt to re-register your account. And step 3 is inherent linkability. A phone number is linkable by nature. Two people who both have it can confirm they're talking to the exact same person.
By the way, that second exposure, account takeover, is one you can fix right now. Just turn on registration lock in your Signal settings. This prevents someone from re-registering your account, even if they manage to compromise your SIM card.
Which raises a really fascinating question. Not whether Signal is secure, it absolutely is, but what would a completely different architecture look like? What if a network never asked for an identifier at all?
Section 3. SimpleX. A network with no users. Operating without identifiers.
This brings us to SimpleX, a network that assigns absolutely no user identifiers. No phone number, no email, no username, not even a random install ID generated when you download the app. Notice the contrast in routing architectures here. In a normal messenger using user-to-user server routing, the server actually needs to know who you are to decide where to deliver your message. That routing requirement is exactly what creates a visible social graph. SimpleX drops this requirement entirely. Instead, it uses unidirectional queue routing. It addresses queues, not people.
Here's how that works in practice. When you connect with someone, exchanging a link sets up two separate one-way queues. One carries your messages to them, a completely different one, at a different address, on a possibly different relay, carries theirs back to you. Each queue is authorized by its own independent key. This entirely bypasses the need for a central user login table.
Because there's no login table, a relay only sees traffic arriving at a queue address. It doesn't see a sender, it doesn't see a recipient, and it doesn't see a link between the two halves. Identifiers exist solely per queue, not per person. It's an incredibly rigorous protocol design that was securely reviewed by Trail of Bits in 2022 and again in 2024.
Section 4. What SimpleX still can't hide. Routing, timing, and correlations.
Completely removing user identifiers doesn't grant perfect invisibility. Let's look at the remaining vulnerabilities that even SimpleX's extreme architecture can't completely hide. First, your IP address still reaches a server. Now, SimpleX mitigates this with private message routing by default, and you can route over Tor, but that protection comes from the routing layer, not the missing identifiers. Second, timing correlation remains possible. A relay operator can log exactly when connections arrive. If those patterns are consistent enough, correlation happens. And third, version 7 introduced public names for channels and businesses registered through an Ethereum wallet. While it doesn't touch private messaging, that strict no identifiers claim now carries a bit of an asterisk.
Section 5. The cost of SimpleX. The invoice for removing identifiers.
Beyond those technical exposures, there are steep practical trade-offs.
we really need to examine the invoice for removing identifiers entirely, because the consequences are severe. Because there's no account, there is zero server recovery. If you lose your phone on Signal, you simply re-register. On SimpleX, if you lose your device without an export, you permanently lose the connections themselves. You literally have to re-establish every single contact, one link at a time. Furthermore, no directory means you can't just search for someone. They have to send you a link or a QR code. That makes unsolicited contact impossible, sure, but it also makes onboarding friends extremely hard. Add in the fact that message delivery is slower and far less predictable, and you can quickly see why network effects are minimal.
In this gap in network effects, it's staggering. Notice the scale here, and more importantly, the units. SimpleX has roughly 2 million total downloads. Signal has around 220 million downloads. That's 100 times more. And then you look at WhatsApp, boasting over 3 billion monthly active users. But notice what's missing for SimpleX on that scale. SimpleX can't publish active users because by design, there are no accounts to count. Nobody, not even SimpleX, knows how many people are actually on the other side. This friction often leads frustrated switchers to just give up. And people who leave Signal for an app their contacts don't use rarely end up staying on SimpleX. They usually end up downgrading right back to WhatsApp.
Section 6. Signal's future without numbers, moving past the phone number requirement.
Meanwhile, the landscape at Signal is shifting. Let's trace how this evolution builds over time regarding the eventual removal of the phone number requirement from their platform. Back in 2024, Signal launched usernames to hide phone numbers. Fast forward to early 2026, and Signal's CTO publicly stated their intent to eventually remove the number requirement entirely. And by August 2026, researchers found unreleased code in GitHub commits referencing a feature called Signal Login. The code remains unreleased, but the direction they're heading is undeniable. As Signal's leadership has explained, the phone number was never meant to be a philosophy of identity. It was fundamentally a spam control mechanism. It imposes a financial cost on bulk account creation, which effectively suppresses those massive spam networks. So how do you navigate this landscape? The recommendation is pretty straightforward. Stick with Signal for general privacy. They don't read your messages, the reliability is incredibly high, and you can secure your account right now with registration lock and a username. You should only consider a switch to SimpleX if you have a specific, concrete reason to believe that the mere existence of a social graph link between you and a contact poses a direct, physical, or legal danger. For those rare cases, the immense friction of SimpleX is the point, not the flaw.
Ultimately, the identifier itself is the metadata. Every network design makes a choice. It either keeps an identifier and works tirelessly to protect it, like Signal, or it removes the identifier entirely and hands you the bill in the form of massive usability trade-offs, like SimpleX. Neither is free. So the real question becomes, in the pursuit of perfect privacy, just how much convenience are you truly willing to sacrifice?